Hey guys, welcome back to Fromthedepths with ChillBuilder here. Today we're doing episode 4 of Barons of the North campaign with CRAM only on challenge difficulty. So right now we're just about under 5 hours into the campaign, 4 hours and 45 minutes. We're about to assault the third base of the United Earth Empire. We have full intelligence on the enemy pretty much right now. We're exposing the rest of the map. There's the third major base, the fourth major base, and the final base was a Empire spaceport, and there's 6 smaller bases after the third base. There's a kind of a funny Empire outpost here with the Traman, which we're about to fight. So this is kind of a funny fight that gives new players some particular difficulty because they don't know how to deal with that. You do need a specialized counter. What we're going to do here is blast out this curvatura immediately with our hover tank and retreat, so then we don't have the curvature interfering with our special unit that's designed to take out these ramming tanks. Basically, they're weaponized tunnel boring machines in the war. So here what we've done is we built a rubber fortress that's immune to ramming damage. So here when you can see the tunnel boring machines coming in, the Traman Insanum, which means crazy train. Our hover tank is kind of blasting at it. It's actually a land tank, not a hover tank. And then we're trying to open up a hole that we can go inside and take out its AI, because that's about almost 200,000 materials in there to capture it. The shitty thing here right now is these units are very repair heavy when they're close together like this. They're very good at repairing each other, and we kind of run out of energy on the RAM bot before we're able to reach the AI box, just due to the constant repair. So here we can see the AI, but we don't have enough energy to capture it. And as you can see now, the previous damage has already been repaired once again. Very frustrating, but I think we can draw our way to the bottom, which is much easier, because it's just rubber on the bottom, not as much on here. So there, that's 100,000 resources. And now the other train has backed up a little bit, but it's coming back again. It got stuck on these posts, the rubber posts. And we're just gonna get close in an angle to kind of shoot out this AI and quickly capture that. Maybe using the main gun of this tank. Okay, I think we're just gonna shoot through the bottom there. So the shitty thing happened here is usually if you're close to a vehicle you can capture it, but as you can see I'm touching the vehicle and it's AI dead, but it's not giving me that capture, so that's almost 100,000 resources just wasted, which is unfortunate. So due to something that happened later, and I did end up replaying the segment of the fight and then ended up capturing the second time. To redo this whole section, because of the bug, if you surround the enemy base and capture it, it will delete the whole faction for some reason. And end up redoing it. I captured more stuff because I'm more experienced with these fights, but it was quite late at night and I didn't record the second go. So here's the first battle with the base 3 defenders. We're spawning them in and fighting them one by one. It's a little bit of gaming the game's volume control systems, but we're kind of fighting with equal cost units just due to how CRAM works. And because these enemies are quite fast, it usually isn't too different realistically with fighting them all at the same time. It's just a bit more manual control on which where each shot goes for these CRAM units. We're targeting the engine in the front 1/3 of the vehicle from the bottom, and we destroy their kind of forward motion thrusters from the back. And now this unit is open to capture. I think it's about 100k resource or 200. This is a Drake, by the way, from Offload Dynamics. We opted to use a hover tank for this fight because a hover tank is better at staying super close to slower units, whereas the helicopter gunship is faster but it's less agile. So it's more optimized for chasing larger units. So now we're going to retreat and we're going to start the battle with a different unit that's optimized for taking on the behemoths. Let's turn on the weapon so we can use missile defenses. We're going to try to get around the side and get a shot on its engine deck. Now, unfortunately, that one shot just obliterated the vehicle. It's got its AI engine and ammo storage all together on the back. So people who are not used to taking down frontsiders tend to struggle with these vehicles, but if you know what you're doing, they kind of die really easily. So that wasn't a capture for us on the first time, but on my second try I did manage to capture that, I think. So the third one here is the Vitrium, which is maybe 200,000-300,000, I don't quite remember. It's fast, it's got decent weapon systems, but its components are very explosive. It's not very evasive. So once you catch up to it, just check out its engines in the back. It's not very well shielded. We're rather well protected. Once it slows down, you get better shots, and now we're taking out its weapons. We switched the engagement range to a longer engagement range because the target is slower now. We don't want to constantly overshoot with the AI maneuver. What the gunship is doing now, but I'm too busy picking the target, so I'm not able to really manually fly the helicopter myself. We do have some close calls here. We don't have a lot of collisions in this episode, but I end up beating the campaign already at this point. It's just a bit too tired to record. So in the next episode, you'll see a lot of collisions, unfortunately. But this episode, or in the next couple of fights, I'm able to get away with not too many collisions. So it's good from a repair and budget perspective. Right now, the thrusters on this craft isn't fully taken out, but I did find out where its AI box is, so while it's spinning around like that, it's not too difficult for me to just come to the craft and take out its AI. So as the ships get bigger, it's easier to disable them and have them crash to the ground and capture the AI. But because they're bigger, it's hard to get close to it and run bot onto the craft. The timing has to be very precise. You need to be able to jump off, get to the AI, shoot it before you run out of energy. It's pretty precise maneuvering. Here we got our trusty land tank, very durable unit going up against what's it called, the Empire Airstrip. So the Empire Airstrip, the AI is kind of where you expect it to be. It's surrounded by ammo crates, funny enough. But unfortunately now you see the whole campaign gets deleted because the space is surrounded by my tiles that I have captured, and somehow that makes the AI faction surrender and delete the rest of their stuff, which is very unfortunate. Now we're 5 hours and 15 minutes into the campaign. We just finished redoing the last hour of fights with Empire Base 3 and the Trauma and Insanum units. So the defender of the third base, the Seraph, has spawned. That's kind of what we're gonna fight next. Seraph and his escorts. Right now we got about 1 million resources in storage, and most of our combat units are at a high amount of fuel. So we're doing very good on resources. As what's happening in real life, this is recorded on the final day of me playing this campaign. So end up doing a 12-hour session to finish off everything. Very good in terms of resource, just due to how much I'm able to capture. So it's just a matter of putting the work to steamroll the enemy. Some fights are more frustrating than others, but from a resource perspective, we're not like we're eating good. We're not really at any threat of losing this campaign. But I will break out the rest of the fight into many episodes. This fight right now is the first unit of defenders or escorts for the Seraph. This is the GG Guan. I think it's probably a Chinese inside joke, but what it is, I'm not quite sure I get it. But as you can see, it's a fast unit. It's got lasers, but it's got a lot of duct armor, which is not heavy armor. It's just alloy or metal. Gets chewed up easily by our gunship. And once the engines go, it kind of falls onto the ground. Now it's just taking out a lot of damage. Fortunately, we, as you can see in a few minutes, we managed to not capture that unit, which is a shame. But we're getting shot at by the Clarent and Priven here, so I decided to circle around and engage these guys before I get a railgun shot into the back of my helicopter, while trying to capture that GG Guan that's on the ground. But that didn't work out so well for me because the GG Guan is dragging itself onto the ground, and eventually it accumulates enough damage it despawns. The Pride Wind here, the walking tank, it's kind of a shit unit in terms of not being very reliable, but there's always a non-zero chance it can score a critical hit using that massive railgun of his. So I kind of want to take it out fast. And it's at this point you can see the GG Guan far away, maybe 2 kilometers away, is despawning. So that's a load of resources that's gone to waste. This Clarent is dragging itself on the ground as well. Not really a threat to us. So with that done, we can restart this battle with the Seraph. And we're attacking it with our helicopter and the hover tank at the same time. The hover tank is called the Death Magic, and the helicopter is called the Dragon's Anathema. The Death Magic comes in only one variant, whereas the Dragon's Anathema, it has 3 different variants because its weapons are all external, so it's easy to refit. It's got light, medium, and heavy. I think in this battle it's still configured as a medium. I did misspeak earlier in this episode. We did have a pretty major collision with the Seraph. I think the Seraph is much heavier, so it suffered less damage. As you can see, the AI box for that helicopter is actually exposed right now, which is a very unfortunate situation. But the Seraph's weapon is not on a turret, so it can only shoot forward, and most of the time it's not able to aim at us. I had rehearsed this specific fight a couple of times before, and most of the rehearsals gone much better than this particular one. Death Magic suffered some hits, some kind of like freaky lucky shot to the side, and that kind of damages thrusters. So now it's unable to go in a straight line, so it's kind of like maneuvering very far from this fight. And as you can see, this poor Dragon's Anathema is fighting by itself with this AI box exposed. So now finally the Death Magic decides to come around again. I decide to take manual control of it. The Death Magic has it's like 30% cheaper than the Dragon. and it has less firepower, but it's got only 2 CRAM cannons, and it's got a longer reload time. So that means each shot does more damage. So I'm aiming for the back portion of the Seraph, and trying to get a sight shot into its hover systems to try to bring it down. As you can see now, we almost killed the AI. Like, the AI is fully exposed. But the fight does drag on quite long because now it's unbalanced, so the ship is facing down and it's trying to retreat. So now downwards or backwards become upwards for that craft. So now it's just hovering and maneuvering madly without any semblance of control, and we're kind of just chasing it. Yeah, we're just chasing it around like this for a couple minutes, and eventually we get some shots in to try to disable the systems. Trying to shoot the backward jets, I did try that as well. It didn't work out too well for me. I took out a lot of the backward jets, but it's still staying up in the air for some reason that I can't fathom. Also, the backward jets are kind of near the back end of the craft, so there's a greater chance of missing just all the damage not fully landing on the craft. It's not as efficient. Okay. Now we got another nasty collision, but luckily all the stuff that was taken out was our armor. Even though the Death Magic does have the whole front covered in covered in rubber. That's deco hidden, but somehow we got a collision angle that went through the rubber. Obviously I can't cover the whole front in rubber because that kind of weakens the armor and reduces aerodynamic efficiency, which we definitely need as much speed as we can get on our craft. So there, I think this hopefully we didn't capture any resource from it, unfortunately, but hey, we're a millionaire now, so not something I'm too worried about. So that's it for this episode. Thanks guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon.